Hey guys, JJ here, and today I'm going to be discussing all the latest Resident Evil Infinite Darkness news that just dropped today. We got the story synopsis, we got the cast for Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield revealed, we have where this fits in with the timeline, and a little more clarification on is this a movie or is this a series? So with that being said, let's get right into it. So for starters, I'm going to go with I'm going to discuss what was said on Twitter through the official Netflix account. Then I'm going to get into the story synopsis. Then I'm going to be giving some of my thoughts and getting into your guys' questions. And I'm doing this live. So to everybody joining in, thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoy this stream. If you do, please leave a like. Helps out a ton. All right, so for starters, let's jump into the tweet that was posted today by the official Netflix account. It says here, even in darkness, a familiar voice can make all the difference. We got this fantastic shot, promotional photo of Leon Kennedy, Claire Redfield. I like that they got blue for Leon, red for Claire. Again, they're much older here. We got the Desert Eagle for Leon. And then here, what we can see in the background is we got zombies again. So as we could see in the teaser trailer they released a couple months ago, zombies were going to be back. But we get more zombies here, what looks to be on the outside of the White House. And that's going to actually be clarified a little bit here in a second. But now this promotional poster, originally it was said that this was going to be a series. And then recently in the Resident Evil Village showcase, they said it was going to be a movie. Now here we're seeing Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, a Netflix original anime series. So it looks like it is going to be a series again. This is going to be episodic. We do not have a release date yet other than it is coming in 2021. So I would assume that with the movie coming out in September, that it's going to be coming out sometime around then. I think Capcom's going to release Village, then probably release this, then release the movie, just to keep hype going throughout the year. That's just my thoughts. Okay, so yes, this looks incredible. So let's move down now to the next tweet. Then we got here, and this part's really cool. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is bringing back the RE2 remakes Nick Apostolides as Leon Kennedy and Stephanie Panisillo as Claire Redfield. So that's awesome because I feel like they did a fantastic job in the Resident Evil 2 remake. And not only did they do a good job, and I'm happy to see them return, but I like that they're keeping consistency now. So, you know, we've had so many different Leons, we had so many different Claires. It looks like now they're tying these in. Obviously, if this is going to be part, I would say, of the movies, we had 3 CG movies and they're considered canon. And I would assume that this is going to be now, instead of a movie, a series, but it's going to be CG. I'm assuming it's going to be canon. So the fact that they're keeping consistency, I like that a lot. I'm really interested to hear how Nick and Stephanie are going to do older Leon and Claire, since this takes place 8 years after the events of Resident Evil 2. But I'm glad to see they are coming back. So there we have it. We have the promotional photo here. And we have... Oh, actually, we have some stills which look much better than the stills we got when this was announced. So, as you guys remember, we had that teaser trailer, and I thought it looked pretty good. It wasn't great, but this is definitely an improvement. We got, and this is, now coming, 6 months later, so they had a lot of time to upgrade the graphics here, but you can see there's a lot more detail in Claire's face. Looks like they did some tweaking of her face here. We got a lot of details in her jacket. It looks good. It looks much more like a CG that would be coming out in 2021. There's Stephanie. And then here we got a shot of Leon Kennedy. He is definitely looking a little older, as he should. He's got some scruff there, but yeah. But that does. I think they look good. They look like animated versions of the characters. They're not too drastically different. I'm gonna get into discussing how they look here in a little bit when I get into where this fits in with the timeline. So there's and then Nick Apostolides. So there's the 2 stills they released today and the promotional photo. So now let's go over to an article here. And this comes from Anime News Network. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness CG anime reveals English-Japanese cast. So, if you guys would like to read this, I'll leave a link down below in the description. I'm going to basically be going over the important parts of this. But yeah, and Sigma Later, thank you so much for joining the Row Squad. Appreciate the support, my man. Spam those custom emojis. You've unlocked them. Also, I'm going to be reading this, and then I'm going to be giving my thoughts and discussing this with you guys. So if you have any questions or anything, I will get into that right as soon as I finish this. All right, so Netflix unveiled the English... Oh, yeah, I read that. Netflix describes the series. In 2006, there were traces of improper access to secret presidential files found in the White House's network. American federal agent Leon S. Kennedy is among the group invited to the White House to investigate this incident. But when the lights suddenly go out, Leon and the SWAT team are forced to take down a horde of mysterious zombies. So real quick, this does confirm that teaser did showcase inside the White House. This is going to be taking place after Resident Evil 4, so it looks like he is coming back now to the White House, and he is with a SWAT team, which gives me Resident Evil Vendetta vibes, where Chris is with a team and they're all basically cannon fodder and they all die, and then you get the action scene with Chris Redfield. I feel like that might be happening here, where the SWAT team is just there to die to the zombies, and Leon's going to be kicking ass. He's in his prime in this, so because this does take place in 2006. So this is 8 years after Resident Evil 2. This is 2 years after Resident Evil 4, and this is 1 year after Resident Evil Degeneration. Okay. Meanwhile, Terra Save staff member Claire Redfield encounters a mysterious image drawn by a youth in a country she visited while providing support to refugees. Haunted by this drawing, which appears to be a victim of a viral infection, Claire starts her own investigation. The next morning, Claire visits the White House to request the construction of a welfare facility. There, she has a chance reunion with Leon and uses the opportunity to show him the boy's drawing. Leon seems to realize some sort of connection between the zombie outbreak at the White House and the strange drawing, but he tells Claire that there is no relation and leaves. In time, these two zombie outbreaks in distant countries lead to the events that shake the nation to its very core. Okay, so there's a synopsis of the story. So we're going to have an outbreak at the White House, and then after that, Claire is going to visit the White House, meet back up with Leon. So this isn't their reunion after the events of Resident Evil 2. We actually got that in the CG movie Resident Evil Degeneration. So they're meeting back up now a year later. Claire is with Terra Save. And so they're going to be joining back together, and then somehow what's going on at the White House and what's going on with that kid's drawing is going to unravel something. So that leaves a lot of possibilities. But it does give us an idea of what's going on in this series. The cast includes Nick Apostolides and Toshioki Marikawa, Japanese, as Leon S. Kennedy. Sorry, I butchered that. Stephanie Penicillo, English, and Yoko Kaida, Japanese, as Claire Redfield. So those are the voice actors for Leon and Claire in the Resident Evil 2 remake in Japan and in the U.S. Both English and Japanese voices for Leon and Claire have voiced the characters in previous Resident Evil games in respective languages, mostly recently in 2019 Resident Evil 2 game. Okay. And then this last part here. Capcom's Resident Evil producer, Hiroyuki Kobayashi, is involved in the production of the story supervision of the franchise's first serialized CG drama. Again, they're saying this is going to be a series, not a movie. The anime studio TMS Entertainment is producing the project, and Quebico is producing the full 3D CG animation. Quebico is the CG animation studio that Resident Evil Vendetta co-producer Kai Miyamoto established in Tokyo in 2017. Netflix will exclusively stream the series worldwide in 2021. Again, I think this might be coming out either before the movie or shortly after, but I think it's going to go Village, then it's going to go Infinite Darkness, then it's going to go the actual movie reboot, just to keep hype for Resident Evil going throughout the year. And then Toyko Pop will release a manga-style graphic novel adaptation alongside the series. So that'll be really interesting to see. I'm definitely going to be picking that up. But I'm actually really excited for this because it's going to be kind of showing us what's going on in between the events of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5. We get to see Leon and Claire return again, which I actually really enjoyed in the CG movie. Granted, Leon Kennedy was kind of a robot when we got to meet him. And for Claire and Leon's reunion in Resident Evil Degeneration, I much prefer what they did with his character in Damnation. And then he kind of became an alcoholic in Vendetta. But I'm excited to see this shortly after Resident Evil 4. How is he going to act? How much different is he going to be than the Leon Kennedy we know from Resident Evil 4? How much has he grown since the events of Resident Evil 2? They're kind of changing a lot with this remake series. And if the rumors about a Resident Evil 4 remake are to be true, then I would assume he wouldn't be looking too much different in the 4 remake as he does here. But I think he looks like an older Leon. Not too much older, but like I said, definitely in his prime. But now, yeah, I'm excited for this. I like to see zombies return. I don't know exactly. It's weird because in the Resident Evil universe, like in Vendetta, they explain that these outbreaks occur all the time. It kind of takes away how big of a deal it seemed in the original games. Like, when there was an outbreak that took over an entire city, that seemed horrible. But when you hear that they happen all the time, well, then it's not really that big of a deal. So something like this happening at the White House, then to never be mentioned in future Resident Evil games, kind of seems a little odd. But maybe the story is good and well written, and they'll explain it. Past news that I reported on for this talks about that we're going to see familiar faces from the Resident Evil games return, and since this takes place then, I'm very curious to see who's going to be returning, because if I'm not mistaken, and now I might be getting my lore a little bit mixed up here, but I believe the events of Resident Evil Lost in Nightmares, where Jill is basically taken hostage by Wesker, takes place around this same time too. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing Chris or Jill. I would assume they're going to be busy, but who else we might see, I don't know. I'm curious. Hunnigan maybe, because she was in Degeneration. But yeah, so I'm really excited for this. I like to see these two characters come back. Obviously, Leon Kennedy has been my favorite character in the series ever since I started with the original Resident Evil 2. Claire is my favorite female character. I'm interested to see more of their dynamic and how their story progresses. But now, I'm curious. I'm going to read the chat here and see what you guys are saying. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to loop the teaser trailer we got. This was back in September 27th, 2020. So this actually came out longer than I thought. Wonder how the enemies will have evolved at this point in this version of the story. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm curious to see that too. We got zombies back. So are we going to be seeing a lot of the enemies we've seen in previous Resident Evil games, or are they going to be completely new ones? I don't know what you're writing here, but you can't be writing that. Let me just time out. RE is the best of all time, says Lorenzo. Sorry, butchered your name. Jill needs to be. I wonder how enemies will have evolved. I read that. Okay. Hi, how are you? Doing good first. Let's see here. Chat's moving a little fast. Thank you guys all so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. This is really late. I'm doing this after work, but I was so excited, and there was kind of a lot here to talk about that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do a live and see what you guys are thinking. We see Zombie Ada, says Declan. I didn't see Zombie Ada. I hope we get lots of interaction between Leon and Claire in this. Same here. Do you think Nick will do a good job? See, that's the thing, is a lot of people are curious to see how is Nick going to pull off an older Leon. The thing is, Nick is an actor, and actors are trained to do this. So we got, which I think he did a phenomenal job as a young Leon, but there's not a question or not a doubt in my mind that he can't do an older Leon. I wish when we hung out with Nick Apostolides at PAX South, I wish I would have said, hey, why don't you do an older Leon for me? I just want to hear how you would sound. I think if you guys go back to the stream we did with Nick in Texas, we streamed Resident Evil 4 with him, and I think he did a couple lines as Resident Evil 4 Leon, if I'm not mistaken. That video goes on the channel, Resident Evil 4 for our PAX event. But yeah. Ludovic Dubois, welcome to Rogue Squad Alpha Team. Thank you so much for becoming a member, man, and supporting the channel. Spam those custom emojis. You've unlocked them. We appreciate that, man. Why you online so late? I was about to sleep, and I saw you online. Now I'm on. I just got done all the work. Oh, yes, Nick will be able to do an older Leon for sure. Leon needs to do a suplex on a zombie. Dude, if they have the moves he had in Resident Evil 4, if they even do the suplex, I will be happy. That would be awesome. Hey, yeah, JJ, I'm absolutely looking forward to this. Do you think we might see lead up to Resident Evil 6 in this, so where POTUS gets zombified? That would be interesting, but it's so far before the events. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's so far before the events of Resident Evil 6. I don't think we're going to see that, but I do think we're going to actually see potentially Leon and the president's interaction together. Again, if I'm not mistaken, the president Leon was working for in 4 is not the same president that becomes a zombie in 6. Do you think we'll see Ashley? That's a great question. That would be great, actually, to see. Now that leads me to, I would like to see what actually happened when Leon returned with the president's daughter. And since this is 2 years after the events of 4, even maybe a nod, like the president and his daughter, and then Leon has an interaction with Ashley to see how she's been and what she's been up to. I think that would be great. Nick will kill it, says Wolfenstein. I think so, man. Would Jill be listed as MIA, KIA at this point in the timeline? Now, like I said, that I'm not 100% exactly when the events of Resident Evil Lost in Nightmares take place, but I do believe it is around this same time. So she might be MIA. So it would be cool to see Chris being very distraught And they did say that we may be seeing characters, or we will be seeing other familiar faces from the series, so that would be really cool. Let's see here. Residents of Evil. JJ, you know Leon and Ashley smashed when they got back? No, man. Leon was all about Ada. Come on, we all know that. And she was trying too hard. JJ, what are you hoping to see in the series Infinite Darkness? I actually am very excited to see... I'm excited to see a proper version of Leon meeting Claire. And what I mean by proper version of Leon is, again, in Degeneration, it was really cool to see Leon and Claire meet up for the first time in 8 years, but he was a robot. He had no personality. And they really fixed that in Damnation. So I'm excited to see that maybe they'll tweak his character and he'll be much more like the Leon that we're familiar with, just an older version, and we'll actually get to see a little bit more interaction. So I'm really excited to see those two team up, kick some zombie ass. I hope it's not over the top like Vendetta. I know the action scenes in Vendetta were really cool, but they were just they kind of borderlined on the live action series where they were just too much action. So I hope they focus more on horror. They're dynamic. Talk about what's been going on. Again, to see the president and Ashley would be cool. Some references to what happened after 4 and even after Degeneration. I think that would be great. First Wanted, welcome to Row Squad Recruit. Thank you so much for becoming a member, man. Spam those custom emojis. Appreciate that. Leon's heart belongs to Ada. That is right, Hijabi. JG, do you think Capcom will be more consistent in their voice actors? I think so. Not only was I excited to see that Stephanie and Nick were returning, but I'm excited to see that they're trying to be more consistent. You would think, because this is so the games and the movies are handled by different companies. They're both Capcom properties, but Constantine runs the movies usually and the shows, whereas Capcom itself oversees the games. So usually that's why you get different voice actors from the movies and games. So I thought they might have, gone with a different voice actor. But to see that they went with the ones we're familiar with makes me excited that they're trying to keep consistency. And that's what I hope for. I want to see consistency because I thought they did a great job, and I was happy to see that they're coming back. Do you think we could see tyrants in the series? Seeing a tyrant, oh my god, that reminds me of Damnation. One of my favorite scenes with those tyrants. Again, that was a little over-the-top action, but that was cool. The tyrants we got in there, the liquor fight with the tyrants, that was awesome. I would love to see more of the enemies we're familiar with redone in this CG because it looks so good. That was one thing I liked about the CG movies is like we got a version of the G in Degeneration, but then that looked kind of not very good. But then in Damnation, those tyrants looked sick, dude. I would like to see maybe a Mr. X. That'd be cool to see Tyrant, Mr. X, like a version of him in this, but now more in line with the Resident Evil 2 remake. I think that'd be cool. T-Goat upgraded his membership to Row Squad Alpha Team. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you so much for the support, my man. Spam those custom emojis. You already had them unlocked, but do it again. Thanks, dude. We better have Chris message Claire asking if she managed to get with... No. 4 a.m. here. Yeah, it's like 3:11 in the morning here. I knew this wasn't going to be a long stream, but I just kind of wanted to cover the news, go over everything that was announced today. I know we're probably going to be getting a trailer soon, and then just discuss it with you guys. It was just like sort of like I said, it was just more of like I wanted to see what you guys were thinking and just talk about it a little bit. I'm glad we're seeing more of Leon instead of Chris overload we've been getting, says J. Michael. Yeah, but you got to remember too, Leon got quite a bit of an overload. He kind of is like the face of the series, and that upsets some people. Me personally, Leon's my favorite character. Let me just put this picture on real quick. But yeah, I mean, to balance it out a little bit, Chris is going to be in the games. Leon's going to be in the CG series. It's going to be cool to have, like, if you're a fan of Leon, you got that. And if you're a fan of Chris, you got this. It would be interesting to see if somehow, some way, they bring in like Leon or Claire in Resident Evil Village. And Corey and I actually had discussed this with you guys during our live streams, but it would be really cool if somehow Claire Redfield is involved in Village and she is somehow at this village and gets taken hostage or captive, or that's why Chris is there. And the reason why they're portraying him as the bad guy is because, and he's acting out of character, is because he is doing whatever he needs to do to save his sister. And that's why he is doing these things that make him seem to be the villain. But like, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. I would like to see Jill in Village, but I said here, I don't think Jill's going to be in this because around this time she gets held captive by Wesker. We do need Jill in a CG movie. I completely agree. She is one of the most popular characters in the series, most beloved, and she really gets no love when it comes to these CG films. Yeah. Whoa! Holy crap. I don't know why that keeps going off. Funded $49.99? That wasn't from this stream. I think I think my alerts are going off from the previous stream, and they're just re-going through right now, because if people were donating, I would definitely read that. I do appreciate the support, but I think that's from the last one, so I just want to make sure I'm not ignoring any of these. That would be interesting because there is a reason Chris is acting shady. Yes, yeah, exactly. And then there's the "Help Me, Brother" written in blood, and then there was that one photo of one of the daughters of Alcina Dimitrescu that looked a lot like Claire. I was thinking about doing a theory on it, but I just never got around to it. Holy crap. What's going on? That thing just keeps going off. I hope we see more of the merchant. Oh, are you talking about the Duke? Or, yeah. Actually, it would be interesting if the merchant made like like some sort of... Hold on, let me just get rid of this. There's some spam going on in the chat, guys. I don't know if I have any mods here. And it won't let me it won't let me block for some reason. Oh crap. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. But yeah, like if like Leon's talking with the president and Ashley, and there's just like a photo of the merchant in like the unresolved case files, or I don't know. It would just be cool. It would be cool. Yeah, I don't know why I can't block. That's so weird. Has Leon ever met Jill? No, he hasn't. That's one thing I wanted to see. Like I got the collector's edition of Resident Evil 2 and the collector's edition of 3, so I got a Leon and Jill statue. When I put them together, I was like, holy shit, they've never met or had any interactions in anything. That's something I want to see. Leon never met Jill for some reason. I wonder if Ada will save Leon. Leon's butt as always. I mean, I know there's been games, and I can't. Usually, if you have Leon, you have Ada. Like almost no matter what. I think there's certain circumstances where they haven't, but I'm pretty sure for the vast majority, if Leon's in it, Ada's somehow in it. Would be interesting to see Ada and Claire interaction though. I live in Michigan as well. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, man. Somehow I want Jill's story when she was in the time between RE1 and before the Raccoon City incident. That would be interesting. I would really like to see a little bit more in there. So if that's kind of like, if they were like the CG movies, I liked them. Vendetta was a little out there, but it'd be really cool to see a CG movie that covered the events in between the original games. What happened after Resident Evil 1? Yeah, they got into it with Chief Irons and you know, we got the story there, but it would be cool to see that stuff. I would like to see them kind of tell a little bit more stories in between the games. This is in between the games, so I'm excited to see what the story's going to be, but you guys know what I'm saying. Do you think we'll ever see Rebecca again in a movie or a game? Yeah, I mean, people love Rebecca. She was in Vendetta. It was unfortunate she was the damsel in distress again because she's a badass and she's been through a lot. But it was good to see her back. I do think that at some point she will be back, but I do think Jill needs to be in a movie or a game before Rebecca. That's just my personal opinion. Don't think Chris will be here because he is too busy with those ladies at the village. No, okay. So this takes place in 2006. Okay, so this is 2 years after 4, 1 year after Degeneration. Resident Evil Village is going to take place way, way, way later. These do not run at the same time, just to clarify. Would be awesome to see some flashbacks of Claire and Leon's previous missions, RE2, Code Veronica, RE4, animated series style. For sure, and they did say that they were going to be covering some of the events that occurred in between the games. So, obviously, this is between 4 and 5, but, you know, it could go back previously to flashbacks or something. That would be awesome. Holy crap, Mark Media with 2,211 I believe that's rubies. That's exactly $30. Count it. Leon in the RE2 remake when shooting enemies. What the? What the? What the? And keeps going. I am interested in his performance in the series. I do hope he can pull off a deeper voice similar to Paul Mercier and Matt Mercier. I have faith in Nick that he can 100% do it, but what the, if they have those lines in there, man. But thank you so much for that support, Mark Media. I really appreciate that, dude. Oh God, it's happening again. God. Residents of Evil. JJ, what if Leon faces off against Wesker in this? I don't think that'll happen. That would be really interesting, but like I said, I think at this point, Chris and Jill were dealing with Wesker. You never know, though. You never know. They need to put, oh my God. Also, hello there, JJ. Hey, Sedimus, welcome, man. JJ, thoughts on Village marketing? It's been terrible, says J. Michael. I don't think so. I don't think so. There was a time where we got like nothing, but everything they showed hasn't given away too much. And as you can see from like the hype online, it seems like what they're doing something right, because every time they do show something, there's a ton of hype online. Everybody's talking about it. Like Alcina Dimitrescu, sorry, she's basically become a meme. Like, they're showing stuff that's not revealing too much, but it's getting you interested. It's getting you talking about it. That's the problem, I think, with a lot of games and movies nowadays, is they reveal everything in the trailer. And I'm actually happy with that. I'm already going to get the game. I'm already excited for the game. You know, I wanted a little more, and then we got the demo, and we got the showcase, and I was like, cool. Like, that, I wanted a little bit more, an idea of what this is going to be about. They gave me that, now I don't want it. I just want the game, you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, that demo was fantastic. So I think they're doing well with the marketing. Ben Chode, holy crap, man, with a $50 super chat. Please, everybody, give it up for Ben Chode. That is huge, man. Thank you. Kick all them spammers. Yeah, it's so weird because my mods can block people, but I can only put them on timeout. I can't block. That's why I keep pausing when I'm talking, is because I'm trying to block, but it doesn't let me. So I apologize for that, guys. My mods probably are sleeping right now, and so it's got a little out of hand in the chat. A couple people ruin it. I think Village has marketed the best by not showing much, but showing stuff that can be memed by the community, Ozzy says. Yeah, because like Resident Evil 2, when everybody got to see how they overhauled Mr. X, and how he was just like the same tension and that stalking character from 2, but just completely overhauled, he became a meme, and he became really popular, and it just, it's like, I don't know, Alcina reminds me of Mr. X around the time Resident Evil 2 Remake was released. Like, they just took off and became super popular. You need a mod, JJ? I might, actually, since I can't ban right now. We'll see. We'll see if they don't come back. Need tyrants. I would like to see some tyrants in this for sure. X gonna give it to you. What about Claire? Resident Evil Revelations 2 didn't happen yet. Not yet. So, from what she looks like here to Revelations 2, her face changes drastically. Yeah, I don't know. Really hoping we get some cameos from other characters in Infinite Darkness. So let's try to think who would be a cameo in this. Now I'm thinking maybe Barry Burton. We could potentially see Barry. We could see Ashley. We could see the president, or Ashley's father. Who else could we see? Like I said, I don't think Jill or Chris, because they're going to be kind of dealing with the events of Resident Evil 5. Now I'm blanking on the name, and I just said it like 10 times. Lost in Nightmares. Let's see. What do you guys think? Do you have? I actually am very excited for this. I liked all the CG movies. I like that these are canon. They're fun. They progress the story a bit. And they give us a little backstory and some new stories. So I'm very excited for this. Hunnigan, yeah, that's one I said earlier. Hunnigan. Sherry is a trainee? Maybe. Ada, Ashley, Sherry. Sherry I'm not sure about, but Ada and Ashley, there's a good possibility there. This can be a long series, otherwise it'll get worn out. So it's got to be short. Maybe, I don't know. If they do it right, if they have good storytellers, it can be fine. Alex Wesker? Maybe. Carlos. Oh, actually, Carlos, there's a good chance we could see some Carlos because of him him in Resident Evil 3, that kind of being relevant and then never getting anything on Carlos ever again. Now that they're remaking the games, they could be putting cameos in their movies because it would only draw attention to their games. So people that didn't play Resident Evil but they're watching the Netflix series will be like, "Oh, I like this Carlos guy. I want to go play Resident Evil 3." That would make sense. Yeah, I'm really excited though to see who they're gonna have in this and how they're gonna do it. Now that we know it's a series, Sheva. Oh, I always wanted Sheva to return. Now this does take place quite a bit before Resident Evil 5 though. Resident Evil 5 I believe is in like 2008 or 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Not the best with lore, especially with the newer games. The older games I'm better, but and this takes place in 2006, so it's quite a bit apart. Merchant from Resident Evil 4, yeah, so we said that earlier. That would be cool to have this like a picture, like an unresolved case or something. Yeah, not the Resident Evil 3 remake Carlos. No, I like the Resident Evil 3 remake Carlos. I think they did a great job with his character. It's on Netflix, so they'll put out a full series at once. This is great. Yeah, we can all binge it. We're gonna be doing watch parties here, guys. So I don't know if you watched on other channels that are basically fan channels. They basically hang out, watch it together. Obviously, I can't show it on here. And then they have just a big discussion after. We're going to be doing that. So I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wesker and UBCS. Yeah, Barry. I hope we see Barry for sure. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. Again, what are you guys thinking about it? Are you excited? What are you looking forward to the most? What enemies do you hope we see? Like I said, because they're dropping all this stuff now, I guarantee you there's going to be a trailer very soon, and we'll be covering that here as well. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments or in the chat right now. To everybody who became a member and supported, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it a lot. Like I said, this is going to be a shorter one just because I wanted to get the news, hit it real quick, and then just discuss it with you guys. So yeah, but tomorrow, technically today, we're going to be live tonight. Corey is out of town, so we're going to put the Road to Village on pause, and we're going to be playing some Resident Evil 2. Bob Spaghetti is joining me, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Jordan Alvarado. I can't do words tonight. With a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. He says, Jill Sandwich should make an appearance. We got to get some, maybe Barry Burton walking in with a sandwich in his hand. That would be pretty cool. Nikolai is dead unless survive. Oh, actually, Nikolai potentially may not be dead since they did the remake. You know, he was left there to die, but there was another helicopter on that rooftop. Who knows? Bob Spaghetti's in the chat. I love it. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys coming by to hang out. Again, this is later, I know. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know down below what you guys think about it. And I'll be seeing you guys later today. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again.